Nearly 7 weeks after Google announced its March 2024 core update, they finally let slip that it's complete. Why the mysterious silence for a whole week after finishing? Well, one intriguing report points to Google's new fall guy, who, rumor has it, is laughing all the way to the bank right now. Amidst the chaos, there is a ray of hope and optimism for the future of content creation, with some news coming out of SXSW this week. This video is brought to you by Search Intelligence. Stay tuned to learn more about them. So if you're ready to dive into all the drama from this week, then let's get into it. When Google kicked off its March 2024 core update, there was a lot of hopeful optimism in many parts of the SEO and site builder community. This was because Google changed the wording of their helpful content FAQ to specifically say that HCU would work on a page level. There was finally a path forward out of HCU purgatory, and a light appeared at the end of the tunnel. Except that light turned out to be an oversized semi straight out of Mad Max, heading in the opposite direction. That is to say, there is zero evidence that HCU actually is working on a page level. We've even seen some of Google's most fervent advocates turning sour after seeing nothing change here. The core update, which Google anticipated to originally take 4 weeks, officially ended on April 19th, nearly 7 weeks after it started. For some reason, they didn't announce that it had ended until almost a week afterwards. Helpful Google, really helpful. It's as if they didn't believe that this was it and were maybe expecting something a little better. Most people were hoping for a reset of the HCU and a drop in the prevalence of Reddit, and to a lesser extent Quora and other user-generated content sites in the SERPs. According to SEO expert Lily Ray's research, UGC sites Medium, LinkedIn Pulse, Substack, and Forbes sites all saw a bump in January. But aside from LinkedIn Pulse, most are returning to pre-core update visibility levels. Reddit, on the other hand, they went up 25% throughout this update. Another study by Ian from SiteStats Database analyzed Mediavine and Raptive ad sites, dividing them into cohorts based on monthly visitors and lost traffic. The average site lost 17% of its traffic, with small sites with less than 10,000 monthly visitors being the most affected. They lost a whopping 64% of traffic across the 11,593 sites analyzed. The larger sites with over 1 million visitors only lost 9% traffic on average. But the average traffic losses across the board is 17%, with 27% of sites going up and 73% of sites going down. As Lily Ray highlighted, the pure content and ad site model is in danger for small publishers. And today's video is sponsored by Search Intelligence. They're a digital PR agency who recently capitalized on Coldplay frontman Chris Martin's admission that he only eats 1 meal per day. They contacted journalists to provide expert commentary from their client Bulk.com. Now, their data-driven approach looked at trends on both Google and TikTok to find insights that fitness and nutrition experts were sure to love. And sure enough, they landed 40 links from super high-quality websites, including Healthline and Huffington Post. So if you're looking for a digital PR campaign to supercharge your link building, head on over to search-intelligence.co.uk. And now back to this week's news and on to our next story. Identifying the villain behind the devastation, which is Google search. In a story making the rounds on Twitter, one name has floated to the top: Prabhakar Raghavan. He's apparently the architect of the decline in traffic, the destroyer of worlds. As revealed by several documents during the Google antitrust trials, this guy's accused of being fixated on revenue growth for ads at all costs. Ed Zitron wrote a great piece that provides a very detailed timeline and breakdown of all the moving pieces. The link's in the description below if you want to read the full story on it. His piece outlines a scenario in which Raghavan created a crisis called Code Yellow, the Google equivalent of DEFCON 1, to highlight that the search department was not generating as much revenue as it should be. He believed this hindered the company's growth and needed immediate action. Less than 5 months after the Code Yellow incident, Sundar Pichai moved Raghavan to the head of search on June 10th, 2020. And in case you don't know, Raghavan was head of search at Yahoo from 2005 to 2012, essentially the end of Yahoo as a proper search engine. Under his tenure, Yahoo's search market share declined from 30.4% to 13.4%, Yikes. During this time, Yahoo didn't just lose market share. They actually walked away from search altogether, instead serving ads against search results from Bing. Yeah, really. And a lot of the recent Google changes do line up with this man's vision. So if you're looking for someone to blame for not being able to find what you want on Google, or your traffic dropping 95%, then he's a good candidate. But you know who's not going to blame him? Google shareholders. The company announced stellar financial results for the last quarter, beating market expectations on sales, revenue, and profit, with their advertising numbers being particularly strong. Pichai and Raghavan were undoubtedly high-fiving each other as their stock options grew in value by over 16% overnight and pushed Google's market cap up by over $200 billion. That's billion with a B. Google, or rather its parent company Alphabet, is now valued at over $2 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Additionally, the market got an even bigger surprise. Google announced its first ever dividend to investors of 20 cents per share, on top of a $70 billion share buyback, thus positively rewarding all of the engineers who worked on the recent core update with a big fat check. Google's problem is that despite its growing market cap, its core product search needs to improve. It feels like they're trading the quality of the product for short-term monetary gains, regardless of what that means for their future. Where have I seen businesses make this decision before? StatCounter shows that their market share has fallen to its lowest level in years, from 89.1% in May 2023 to 86.9% in March 2024. Okay, it's still got its monopolistic hands around the throat of search for now. The downward trend, though, does reflect the increasing dissatisfaction with Google search, not just from SEOs, but also from regular users. While site owners struggle to navigate the new landscape where AI is eating into everything, content creators are another audience who stands to suffer significant losses. As AI quality improves, and the line between what's real and what's computer-generated blur, standing out will only become increasingly challenging. In a fascinating presentation at SXSW, Patreon CEO Jack Conte talks about the death of the follower and the future of creativity on the web. Conte notes that initially large social media platforms let ordinary people broadcast to billions, greatly expanding their reach. But then the platforms changed. Algorithms started determining what people saw, focusing more on what boosts their key metrics and ad revenue rather than the quality of the content. Instead of highlighting content users liked and followed, the platforms started promoting what kept people online and on their platform longest. Today, you might see content with huge reach from accounts with just a few followers, offering a great chance for new creators to quickly make an impact on social media. However, there's a downside. If you spent years building your account, your content might get pushed aside for new content from an upstart creator. This can lead to inconsistent performance, and it makes it tough to be a professional creator. Sound familiar? Conte suggests building more personal connection with your audience to create true fans. While he runs Patreon and has a stake in the game, his advice still holds. By developing a strong rapport, making your content easily accessible, and adding value, you can gain a level of independence from these algorithm-driven platforms. Often this means moving your audience to platforms like newsletters, a Discord server, a Circle community, or direct subscription services like Patreon or even OnlyFans, whatever floats your boat. Conte's advocating for direct monetization, so getting paid directly by your followers, over earning through a measly cut of ad revenue. This approach isn't revolutionary, but it's something content creators need to get more comfortable with. So what do you think? Should we all focus on building deeper, monetizable relationships with our audience, or do we hope for a hero to fix the current system? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you could share your feedback on this week's video format. Should we keep this new style or go back to our old format? And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to Authority Hacker News so you don't miss out on future videos. If you like this video, you'll like this video.